start, and we're on board with Colden. Actually, this gives a bit of camera angle. You've got the lights just about to come on in the gantry. Get the button pushed and get the lights on. As we're all sitting here patiently waiting for the 5 lights. There we go, the 5 lights are on. We're at 3, 4, 5 lights. Mercedes front row, Honey Badger on the right, Colden on the left, and it's lights out and we go green here in Shanghai as Honey Badger does get a good start, but Baggy Fan is up the inside already, and Cowan's made his way past as well as they are sitting filter through. Colden's got a terrible start there as we see some cars gone wide, but everybody looking relatively clean so far, and I say that, and Dodgy's off at the back, yellow flags are out. Through the first couple of turns, there's 2, even 3 wide there at the back. Hyper's very tentative through turn 1 and 2 as we see the Ferrari Russell gone wide on turn 4. Sprightly's already up the inside there and he's losing a few places as well. We've got everybody kind of starting to straighten up and line up there. Hyper's kind of been a bit tentative with Grumpy Orange there as Steve-O's losing places off the exit of turn 6. Gareth's going to try and go round the outside through turn 7 and 8 in these conditions. We'll ride on board. Steve-O goes really wide. Gareth going to try and go for the switchback, but he's just so cautious on the on the fuel. He's so cautious on the throttle. He doesn't really want to repeat a very similar spin that he made on the formation lap. That's no Baggy Fan, that is Russell. Baggy Fan's in P2, and Lofty's up into P3. Haas 3-4 after starting 5-6. So Colden really losing places off the start. Already lost 3 places, but Honey Badger, I was going to say, already broke out the 1 second DRS gap, but we're not going to see DRS in these conditions. But anything that I missed, Max?
Baggy Fan with the start of dreams in the first corner. Got past down the inside, muscled his way through. The other Ferrari is getting past down the straight. But no, there wasn't really much else going on. Obviously, I saw what you saw, really. A couple of overtakes here and there. And yeah, it's still going on. There's the 2 Haas cars are going at it at the front.
That was a nice move. Nice move for Demons there.
Yeah, they're going at it, those two, as the timing screens decide to mess up, as per usual. But yeah, Baggy Fan muscled his way through down at turn 1, and I think it was the Haas car went off the track. Cowan went off in the background, so he had a bad run through there. But yeah, I mean, he didn't force the car off the track. He just tried to turn as much as he could, got a bit of understeer probably with the narrow line, and muscled his way into P2, and he's still there at the moment. And it's just whether he can stay concentrated and keep going. And we'll have to wait and see. There's a yellow flag. That is Sprightly.
Oh, that's Russell. Sorry, I was just on board with Russell making the move on Steve-O, and Steve-O's going to try and come back at him, round the outside into turn 7. Russell's having to take to the grass, but Steve-O makes the move, and he's back up into the P9 that Russell had momentarily just took him off there, and Gareth's going to try and go for it through turn 8, and Steve-O and Russell having a nice wee battle here already on lap 2 a 28. And I was just looking to see what was happening with Sprightly before I cut you off.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened with Sprightly, but he's still going at the moment. Demons has got some decent pace here, so he's looking to, well, we'll see what he can do. He's catching Baggy at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be hard to overtake in a straight line, as we've already discussed with the no DRS. But Demons is looking very quick at the moment. And we'll just have to wait and see if he can make, or if he can get up towards Baggy Fan and make sort of moves. His Hypers is up into P15 for the moment. Oh, bit of contact. And still side by side, Hypers and Flying Lemon going side by side. Bit of wheel banging. He's going to struggle to get around the outside here without going off the track, and he does go off the track, but he keeps it pinned. And he's going to have to settle in behind, but I think he's going to make the move, Riggs.
He's turned his ERS button off quite early, and he had... Oh, and Lemon's holding it round the outside. Hyper's having to settle for P16 at the moment. We see Maxwell keeping Paul for company just up the road, and Baggy Fan's going to have the grey Hassy Demons in his wing mirrors soon enough, and we'll jump back on board to that. Oh my god, my throat is absolutely gone. But
Hypers is up the inside again.
Oh, I've
Jesus
literally just jumped off them.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
I've just
got his elbows out that time and got past and forced him off the track a little bit. But that was within the rules, I believe. So yeah, and Grumpy Orange took full advantage of that and made his way up in to P16 for now. But yeah, Baggy Fan is losing touch of Honey Badger, but we know Honey Badger's got the pace at the moment, and he seems to be the quickest guy, and Demon seems to have a decent amount of pace, so let's see what he can do down this back straight.
I'll jump on board with him as he's right in the slipstream of Baggy. Baggy just keeps it on the racing line, allowing Demons just to take all the room on the inside into the braking zone. Demons does go that wee bit later on the brakes, and he makes the position his. Baggy Fan does run a bit wide on the exit though, but puts him down to P3, but he's got Lofty's kind of just running his own race. Still really early, but Lofty, who did look really good on the start, is just kind of drifted back a wee bit. Colden hasn't really made up after his slow start either, and he's going to have Scott Laney for company as we see some cars running wide at the back of the field into turn 15 there. So got a bit of spread. Got Baggy Fan right behind Demons though, and we've got the battle between Steve-O, Russell, Charlie and Gareth. There's a wee pack of 4 here. So McLaren versus Ferrari versus AlphaTauri and Williams. So we'll sit on board with Russell, who has been giving Steve-O a bit of hassle. Like, he has been keeping Steve-O honest. They had some good battle getting here just a couple of laps. So Russell will be looking to try and repeat that feat, but they're slowly edging in on Cowan. But other than that, Merckx, Tap, Steven are kind of running their own race.
Yeah, Jester was getting cut adrift a little bit, but he seems to have been a bit better this lap. And Colden, Scott Laney, like you say, are quite far apart. Baggy Fan seems to be, well, maybe not struggling for pace at the moment, but he hasn't got the pace of the 2 Haas cars and the Mercedes. Doesn't seem like Colden is catching up to him, but yeah, I think Baggy Fan just needs to, run his own race and see where that gets him. Because yeah, I think just aim for a solid points finish, and that'll be a good race for him. He's up against some serious contenders at the moment. As I think Demons, maybe if he can just chip away at that gap at the front, maybe has a shot at the win, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously there could be safety cars which could completely change the complex of the race.
Definitely, the safety car could come out at any moment and completely throw the race on its head. But I've just been looking through the Twitch chat just to kind of see what we've missed in the meantime, and Baggy's Fan is completely lit up the chat on the start, and it completely lit us up too. Like, I just seen, like, on the start, we just seen Honey Badger get a nice start. Colden looked quite slow off the start, ended up being P6 getting into like turn 1 and 2, and then Baggy was already up there inside before we go to turn 1, so I was like, oh, right, on you go, son. But chat has been fairly active with just some back and forward banter between drivers in the other divisions, so they'll find time to coach their drivers in this tier, as well as have the banter back and forward with the other engineers and such. But looking at it right now, we'll jump on board with Charlie because he's right on the back of Russell now, as this is the battle for the final point. And Gareth is right behind as well, as you can see there on the back. But Steve-O really kind of he was catching Cowan just the lap ago there, but now it's back to 2 seconds, so it will really just be all aboard the Steve-O train as Russell is off a slow, and Charlie just looking to give him the wee push and a wee nudge to just say, like, come on, I'm right here, you need to keep the speed up, you need to keep going. But I think Charlie might just use a good bit of his battery, tuck back into the slipstream here. You'll just see the blinker on the back of the Ferrari to say that he is harvesting energy, but in these conditions it is purely just to let the driver know that there is somebody in front. Charlie's leaning late on the brakes, but he does slow the car down. Like that's the kind of thing there as well, Merckx. Like, is there going to be a time where if you're in a DRS train, a DRS train in the wet, Briggs, come on, heroes, but in one of these big trains though, you get what I mean? Like, do you just have to just say, right, I'm going to send it? Hey. Can you, How can you do that in these conditions? Sorry.
I think you have to be a bit more methodical with your overtaking in the wet. Be a bit more patient. Bide your time. Look at the areas they're weak at. Obviously, yeah. I mean, it's hard to just overtake a lap after that. You don't have the DRS, so it's not as simple as that. So you have to be a bit more methodical. Yeah, I think if you just bide your time at some points in the race, and then if obviously the opportunity comes and you take it. But yeah, I think sometimes you might have to be a bit more ruthless in your overtaking, because it's just really hard unless you're quicker, quite quicker than the car ahead, or they make a mistake.
I'm sorry, I've just read the chat and they all think I'm drunk. I mean, it'd be a reasonable excuse for some of the stutters and stammers I've had, but...
Lofty on the back of Baggy Fan, by the way.
Oh, I'm on board with that. Is he going to go for the move? He is diving out of the slipstream into the braking zone. No quite, Max. Is it?
Oh.
It looks like the drive... Oh, he's run wide. He's run wide, and that's just going to allow Lofty up the inside. Baggy Fan slips onto the curb and slips out of the podium places, but he'll probably try and get the place back. Baggy's got so much more ERS, by the way. He's got 60%, well 65%. It was 80 coming off the hairpin, and Lofty's at 20 now. Sorry.
I think that's a better way to manage his ERS though, because there's a lot of the drivers do have. So I think Charlie has got past Gareth, or some of the side by side into turn 1. He just turn in a bit, and Gareth is not there fortunately, but they're all really close. Russell up the inside. Oh, that's out of nowhere. Be careful he doesn't tag Charlie. And they're still side by side.
Ferrari versus Williams, and they're still side by side as Gareth does just make his way by Russell there. You can see him on the right hand side. Russell is going to have the inside into turn 6 though, and I'm don't know about all the camera angles here, but Russell keeps the place. This is a beautiful side-by-side battle, and Russell is very tentative on the throttle on the exit, and that's just going to allow Gareth up the inside into turn 7 and 8. And Russell's going to try it. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. Brilliant racing, and Russell's going to take the place. Is he going to try and hold it around the outside? He is. He's going to do it. He's going to hold it around the outside, and Gareth's got a slide, and that's meant that Paul's got a slide. And they're all just going to filter back into position, and that was beautiful side-by-side action there for the Williams and the Ferrari, and Gareth's getting out of shape. Paul is holding Hypers up through here, and Hypers might be shaping up a move.
Yeah, Russell getting his elbows out, and that's kind of things you have to do. You just kind of have to stick it in there and hope sometimes that the other car, or you don't make contact with the other car, and they almost end up in the wall. Grumpy Orange gets past Maxwell, as Hypers is only P14 at the moment. The other Renault is caught up and pulled away from Cowan, and Baggy Fan's still on the back of Lofty at the moment. But yeah, I guess he'll follow him round for the moment and see. I think Colden is catching a little bit, but not drastically at the moment.
Baggy! Ooh. Oh, do you see that, Tay? Just like it was all about the throttle input there, that really just kind of put that car nearly into the wall. But like as you were saying, sorry, like I think Baggy Fan will be quite content just sitting fully in Lofty run, like because it'll give him time to save his ERS, and it'll also like give him maybe a better idea of what his reference points are, like because Lofty's not exactly pulling away.
Yeah, Maxwell in the pits already. He's gone for an early stop, so interesting to see if he can take those tyres to the end or not. I'm not sure if he can. That's 20 laps is a long time on those tyres, but we'll wait and see in that case. But yeah, it looks like Lofty is losing time to his teammate. Honey Badger and Demons are settling similar lap times, even though I think Honey Badger's had a better lap this time round. But yeah, it looks like Lofty's not really that quick at the moment. Obviously he's got past Baggy, and Colden is coming, Scott Laney is coming, Jester is coming. Yeah, this could be a 4 or 5 way battle at some point. Wait and see.
Definitely, it could all just like come into the fold in the later stages of the race as Baggy picks up a penalty for warnings, and I'm assuming that was off the final turn. As we'll jump on board with Steve O, he's right on the back of Charlie as he gets a bit of a slide on through the final turn too, and Russell's going to be under pressure for Gareth just behind as well, and we'll jump on board to that battle. Actually, Hypers has picked up a penalty too, and the penalty's kind of starting to slowly creep into the race, just over a third of the way through, and Baggy is just kind of fell outside that 1 second zone, but he's jumping in and out it. So
I mean, there's no DRS, so it doesn't really matter about a 1 second zone as long as you're ahead of the car behind you.
That is true.
Yeah, I think you can. Well, he's following Lofty, but Lofty's not really that quick at the moment. And like I said before, Colden, Scott Laney, Jester, they're there. So, I mean, yeah, any mistakes if Baggy Fan goes for a move at some point later on in the race could be detrimental to him and to them. So, Colden is definitely going to be on the back of Baggy Fan soon. We'll see if any other drivers are, as Colden does run wide in the background, so that won't help his run through there. But yeah, Honey Badger's pulled away in the last couple of laps. The gap was 3.5 seconds, but it's now 4.4 and rising at the moment.
Honey Badger really is just on next level stuff. It's very Sebastian Vettel-esque. Qualifies in pole, and if he gets a good enough start, he's away. That's pretty much it. But there is still 18 laps to race here in China, and I think now that you're saying it just takes Lofty to be that 10 for 2 slower to push Baggy Fan into Colden and Scott Laney and Crafty, or who are all in the same frame there into turn 1.
I'll tell you someone who's looking quite good is SLR Charlie at the moment, up 7 positions, and well, he seems to be getting past anyone he comes up to. And yeah, he's caught up to Cohen at the moment, and if he can get past him sometime soon, then he's got a gap to drive into, as Baggy Fan's getting overtaken by Colden on the run down to turn 6. So he's obviously had maybe a poor exit, as the rain seems to be really heavy at the moment. I can't tell if it's heavier or not, but it does. I mean, I might be just my eyes playing tricks on me, but it does look a little bit worse than it was before.
Definitely. It definitely does look to be that bit worse than what it was. So, like, and that kind of begs the question too, right? Because we saw Maxwell come in. I don't know if that was influenced by damage or if that was just strategy. Like, you don't really need to act on an early pit stop for somebody else, do you, in the wet?
No. You just have to be on the right side at the right time. And do the least stops as possible. Charlie is pushing. Oh, as I say that, he almost puts it in the wall. But yeah, he's still quite close, and so he's
already done it.
Steve-O, by the way, has got pretty much all of his ERS to play with in the background. So yeah, I think people are saving their ERS. They're probably going to maybe go for a bit of a later charge, or just managing it throughout the race, like Honey Badger's managing his throughout the race. Doesn't really need to push at the moment. His gap's 5 seconds, and yeah, it's even further, 14 seconds to Lofty in 3rd place at the moment. So 15 seconds to his teammate. Yeah, he's comfortable at the moment, but you can never be too comfortable in the wet conditions, as Hypers picks up another penalty.
To keep it within the white lines, and they add up, especially when the field is as close as it is. I mean, if it is 6 seconds, it really would only just demote him behind Grumpy Orange, but you wouldn't want to kind of pick up any more, especially if there is a safety car near the end, and like all the pack are like in the same bit of track. As Maxwell does go fastest.
There's evidence of those fresh tyres finally up to temperature, up to the grip level he needs, but he is a long way back, of course. So yeah, I mean, I'd be defending. He doesn't want to push too hard, but I think he might be making another stop come the end of this race. So he'll be hoping for some sort of safety car to get involved. But yeah, I think Scott Laney up to the back of Baggy Fan then. Don't know if he's going to make a move on this straight, but he's certainly going to make a move soon as Baggy Fan is just slowly starting to fall back and in this race and struggling for pace. Charlie passed Cohen. He hasn't really had a great lap, but he has ditched Cohen already, so and Steve-O's on the back of him. But yeah, Colton on the back of Lofty. I think, yeah, like I say, Lofty hasn't had hasn't had the pace of his teammate, that's for sure. And yeah, he is. Colton is going to try and make it a Mercedes 1.3 and a Mercedes 1.4. Mercedes versus Haas at the moment, Riggs, and Mercedes definitely look like they have the upper hand.
Definitely, I feel like Mercedes also Honey Badger's out at the front controlling the proceedings at the front. UK Demon's just going to run his own race after getting by Baggy early on, and Lofty really kind of
Steve-O in the pits.
Lofty really looking to be the weak line in the top four, but Colton really is the one that looks to be quicker of the two. So we'll see how that unfolds. We'll start to see some pit action, as you were saying. McLaren have both drivers at least pitted relatively early in the race, but I think that might maybe just be a matter of trying to improve.
Oh, we've got someone slow. Sprightly.
That's
down at
Sprightly.
The hairpin, yeah.
Sprightly at the back. Looking through the chat just to kind of see what's happening. They were all kind of enjoying the battle between Russell and Gareth earlier, just a few laps ago. You've got the McLaren strat has been questioned about pitting on lap 8. Get some conversation between Ridgel and Nicky. I have to say avocado. So
I don't know what's so special about that, but
I have no idea. I've just been asked the Anastasia to say avocado. I don't think I say that any different to anybody else. If I did, then please be sure to let me know.
Lofty's gone deep. Lofty's gone deep, Riggs.
Oh,
he's struggling off the exit, but he still had Demon's pits. And he's going for an undercut. Oh, Lofty's all over the shop at the moment. But he's using his ERS to pull away, and it's going to be a lot like this. And yeah, I mean, it's easy to use your ERS to just not get overtaken on straight without DRS. As I think Gareth and Russell pits. So see where he comes out with relation to Steve-O. Steve-O 8.5 seconds ahead of his teammate. As Demons, he comes out in P8, 2 seconds behind Charlie.
2 seconds behind. Oh, he's got a wee bit of clear air, and it's not exactly as if Charlie's been lapping slow. As you were saying, he's been one of the drivers that have been looking at. He's been cutting through the field. He's been overtaking as and when he needs to. He is necessarily making the moves when he needs to. Maxwell he's just about on a charge at the minute. He has got some clear air. He has 7 seconds behind Russell. So if he can just kind of keep closing that gap, and then the midfield kind of mistime the strategy call, then Maxwell could really finish Cell in that attacking position once again, because we've not seen too much here.
Oh, it's Baggy Fan. Baggy's round.
Oh, it's Baggy! Baggy's... He's facing...
Just completely the wrong way. So I'm to let everyone go as well.
You have to watch, because that's grumpy orange coming through. You're clear to go, Baggy. You're clear to go now. This Honey Badger goes quickest again. And we've completely missed that. Completely missed what's happened there.
I think he's still got a full front wing, but he's going to have to come into the pits because those tyres will be ruined at the moment. It's Colden on the back of Lofty still on a straight. Honey Badger's definitely got life in those tyres. Life in the old boots, you could say. There's Jester got past Scott Laney and all that. Callan's into the pits. Charlie is right on the back of this lot, and he's caught like 3 seconds in the space of a lap. So yeah, I wonder if Baggy and Scott Laney maybe had contact. I wouldn't say that for certain, but Charlie is gonna. Oh, I thought he was gonna try and shape up a move there on the Red Bull man.
No, he definitely. That was the kind of hang. Like, he was right underneath the rear wing, he's Scott Laney, and then Scott Laney just got a bit of purchase off the turn 4. Maxwell is reclaiming his fastest lap
Lap
there,
after lap.
where
Got some news,
he
Riggs.
did. Oh, got some news.
Southerner says Laney apparently hit him from behind and spun him. So I
Also hit
was
Baggy.
right to say that there was possibly contact, reason why Scott Laney is behind Jester. And, well, we didn't see it, but that is possibly what happened, and Sprightly is off. I think that's Sprightly. Yeah, he's been lapped as well at the same time.
Sprightly really just know the races here in China, the conditions, and just the general vibe of the track for him might not go hand in hand for him, but
Demons
I've
is
no.
going for a move as
Oh.
Honey Badger pits. Demons has got to get past there.
He needs to get past Honey Badger's in, so Demons needs to make the move and get the traction. Charlie is going to try the switch back, but Demons in the much fresher rubber does take the place. Crafty and Scott Laney go again. Oh my god, it's just everything in my body's gone wrong. But UK Demons,
He's
As in,
lost a lot of time.
he has lost time, but
Let's have a look at the gaps to leader. 7.2 seconds. Yeah, he's lost a couple of seconds in that. This traffic has not helped him out at all.
definitely no. And if Crafty and Scott Laney are going to continuously get in the way, they are entitled to fight for the position. But that will definitely no help UK Demons by any stretch. We start to see some more pit lane action next. Got some stop action. Honey Badger was actually that far in front. He was able to come out in P2 relatively untroubled, and he's just got his team.
Yeah, Lofty pitted at the same time as him, but would have still come out behind Lofty. Yeah, so he came out ahead of Jester. There's a nice gap between Jester and Colden to come out into. As Jester's got a bit of a train behind him with Scott Laney and Demons there. And yeah, they'll be coming to the pit soon. I imagine Colden is going to come in at the end of this lap, just so he doesn't hold his teammate up too much. Or hold his teammate up at all, answer that. So yeah, we'll see where he comes out in relation to Lofty, but Demons is right up the back of Laney. Or not.
Is he going to go for it? He is on the inside. Later on the brakes, he's not quite getting there, Mercs. Is it? He's no getting. He is not. That's the thing, right? Because he is getting up the inside, and he is putting himself in that position to make the move. But is it just the fact that there's no confidence in getting up the inside?
It was a bit of a strange one. I mean, he had the ERS to play with, so it wasn't like he could have just gone for the move. But I mean, he's in a comfortable P2 at the moment. They're all in comfortable positions, really. I'm interested to see where Colden comes out in relation to Lofty, but Lofty is already a long way clear, so that undercut was very crucial for him. So it's Mercedes, Haas, Mercedes. And then Jester comes from P2 to P5. He's gained a lot of time in terms of positions from his first stop, so he's not too far back. Jester quietly going about his business. His teammate Hyper's still down in P13. So Jester, I think, looks like he'll be retaking the championship lead unless Lofty has anything to say about that, because I think Lofty is actually quite close to Jester, so Lofty could be taking the championship lead as the championship swings once again. There's a yellow flag or something. Quite sure what.
It just seemed to be waved, and then it just quickly went away. I was literally looking about the map there to see like what bit of the track it was and who it was that went off or spun or whatever, and there was nobody there. So I'm quite unsure why it came out, but I mean, as long as it's no Hodden proceedings, then I'm not really going to bother too much. But I'm on board with this battle between Charlie and Steve-O. Max. Charlie is all over the back of the McLaren. Steve-O does kind of give him the squeeze and the slamming of the door there, but Charlie isn't going to take that line down, and he's already right underneath the rear wing, and Steve, you can see him using his battery to put away, and Charlie isn't really opting to use his aim. He's just want to get out the slipstream, see what's in front of him, late on the brakes. Steve kind of going a wee bit inside there to make sure that the move wasn't on for him, and the battle goes for another lap, and Russell is right there as well, as the two, as I say, the Alpha and the Williams, the Cowan and Gareth are right there as well, so battle a bit harder. They'll be in the frame.
Had a nice helicam for that little battle for a little while, they're going around the long right-hander, but yeah, Steve-O's got a train once again, and well, he'll be trying his best to keep these guys behind. Oh, hello, Russell up the inside of Charlie out of nowhere.
Nice.
Had zero room. But yeah, Charlie holds firm. Charlie says no. That was his old game saying. If you didn't know, I just explained the joke, so that made it so unfunny. I will be quiet.
Oh, but
yeah, I think Charlie will make the move soon. Well, it looks like he will.
I think it looks to be a matter of when rather than if, because Charlie really is looking to be in a much schmear. Like he looks to be more in tune with his car than what Steve-O does. It really is just a matter of getting that bit of purchase off of this long right-hander we're about to come up to, and actually make the move work.
Oh, hello.
Charlie might actually go for it here. Switchback is on, already up the inside. Steve-O's harder on the outside though, as they go side by side, and it'll be a drag race down to the hairpin. It'll be a dead heat. I want a good camera angle for this. I'll go and probably Russell, and Steve-O's going to go and sell him the dummy and go back up the inside. Oh my god, see his camera angles are so bad. As Steve-O does go back up the inside, Charlie will go for the switchback, give him the pinch, and Steve-O will just have to settle for being in behind Charlie there. And Russell will be looking to get a piece of this pie, so will Gareth and Cowan. They're all in the same frame now.
I just wish this for the lead. This would be pretty entertaining. But it's only for P7 at the moment. I think Charlie has the pace to pull away. We'll wait and see on that. But yeah, Colden is on the back of Lofty. Lofty's, yeah, I think he's just struggling in the wet conditions by the looks of it. He's whole 15.5 seconds behind his teammate, let alone 20 odd seconds off the lead. Yeah, Honey Badger in a class of one at the moment. Same with UK Demons, and the battle for the podium. I mean, it's going to be Haas and Mercedes on the podium at the moment. You would have to say. It's just, will it be two Haas's or two Mercedes?
That's exactly it. We've been kind of leaving this battle just brewing its own off on the side, but Lofty kind of hard and firm in P3. Colden is just settling in behind, and I've just jumped on board the Loft. I've just jumped on board the Loft and see what his ERS situation's like. He's got all his battery to play with, so I think as soon as Colden gets anywhere near, Lofty does have the freedom just to switch on the button and put away. He's been managing it extremely well, so I think Colden might have his work cut out, but we say it's a matter of when rather than if. But in this case, it could be if. But no, he doesn't even need to make the move if he can keep his race clean and just keep in the gap 3 seconds.
That may have settled it. We'll wait and see. We don't know what the penalty situation is for Colden in terms of warnings, but yeah, Colden knows what he has to do now. It's whether he can do it. Scott Laney on the back of Jester as well. Charlie kind of pulling away from Steve-O, but not much. Yeah, he's got a decent pace. I think he's staring at P7 at the moment, unless there's any shenanigans out front as we're approaching the last quarter of this race. It's been a slow burner, as there's a yellow flag of a Williams of Grumpy Orange who's half spun by the looks of it. Yeah, it looks like he's half spun and what I might have been going for a move on Deadpool, but he's dropped to P16. But yeah, Steve-O's still got this nice little train behind him.
It's been a train that Steve-O hasn't quite been able to take off to get to I'm just not in the right frame of mind. I'm in between looking at what's been said in the chat to what's been on here, and I've just jumped on board with Gareth. But Steve-O he's always been in this train. He's always been paired to it. It's always been Steve-O, Russell, Cowan, and Gareth, and this is the four-way battle for P8. So 3 of them will get points. 1 will have to go with foot. Yellow flags at the back, and that's Hypers. Hypers is spun, and he's in the gravel trap.
That is well, effectively his race over. Oh my.
Oh, he's already onto the other side. He's going to have to watch because that's a flying lemon coming behind. And they just caught the tail end of that. It's a tale of 2 fortunes at Renault.
Well, effectively his race over. He was fighting to catch up to that Steve-O train. There's a Racing Point who's been lapped. Sprite, I think, is off again. I don't know if he got out of the way of being lapped or what, or if he just lost it. But he's having an awful race. There's Honey Badger. Is it Honey Badger? Hypers gets 5-second time ready for corner cutting. Bit harsh from the game.
I think he's in a position where the heats
will
and truly.
Oh my god, he's all the way off the track. He's all the way off the track, Riggs. Oh my.
And he's in neutral, and he's just lit up the rear light. He just lit up the rear wheels in first gear, and he's spun. He's gonna have to be careful with how he re-enters the track. It's really just no beating. It's just, and he's.
Where's he going?
He's just. I think it's just the tyres. I think the rears are too warm. I think that's purely what it is. He's burning the rears out with the aggressive throttle input in the car. He'll need to come in for some fresh inters and just do like a 7-lap dash to the end and hope for the safety car to come out at some point.
He's gonna get lapped. So
he is in danger of that as well. So
yeah,
I think he needs to make a quick call.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe he's a bit annoyed at the same time, and yeah, he was all over the shop on this particular lap, but has not gone his way at all tonight. And yeah, he's going to see his championship lead go away. Well, at the moment to a Haas driver of Lofty, I believe. So. Yeah, Honey Badger with 2 good races in a row at the moment, and he is over 10 seconds clear, so he just has to coast his way around the track from now to the end. Same with Demons, he can do the same. Holden just has to stick behind within 3 seconds of Lofty, and yeah, it seems like the only real battle at the moment is the Steve-O train.
Definitely, that's the kind of main battle that we're seeing. Right now I'm on board with Russell, so we're kind of just going to get a good view of this train now that Maxwell's just deciding to climb on board. I've also just been looking through the chat. Dylan's asked to say he says to say Scheveningen. I've completely butchered that, so I'm sorry if I have offended people with that. Scheveningen. I'm looking through the chat as well, just to kind of say, so they are just kind of bantering back and forward, I think. They're saying 8 seconds ahead with a dry cell, and I think I'm assuming that's for Honey Badger, who's made that 12. The top 3, could they get any closer? Definitely, they definitely couldn't. Says Midzy. Other than that, not really been too much. But I'm on board with Russell, who is kind of dropping off a wee bit. Steve-O is on. Russell's just decided to completely straight line the final corner. So he'll have probably got a warning for that. Yellow flags, and that's Hypers again. Let's see what's up. Spun on the exit of 12. It's and that's Sprightly T in it, and that's the Alpha.
Oh no!
I thought I seen AlphaTauri. I thought I seen Dingo Dog spinning T, and I was like,
Williams Grumpy Orange is off at the same time. Get out of the way of the Mercedes, who's leading the race. And yeah, they're all these guys at the back as Trumpio's got 10
Oh,
seconds.
that's
Harsh on the
that's
game.
harsh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
harsh.
3 out of the 4 drivers in the bottom 4 have been off the track. And Sprightly lets a couple of cars go past to be lapped by the Renault and the Red Bull of Jester and Scott Laney. Yeah, I think it's not really going well for some of these drivers at all. There's a Grumpy Orange, I've just seen go wide. Yellow flag again in sector 3, that must be Sprightly or someone getting out of the way to be lapped, I suppose. Looks like Sprightly's getting out of the way.
Flags. Yellow flags.
I think it's Sprightly.
That's Sprightly.
Sprightly getting
That
lapped.
is. Aye.
Baggy fan
That
on the
was
back
kinda-
of Deadpool.
But-
P12.
Oh, and
Oh.
Baggies. Oh, and they've both done the
Oh.
same thing, and they've both went onto the grass.
Oh dear.
They've both just done the exact same thing there. and
Deadpool got away with
thank-
it.
Paul's actually managed to gain an advantage for that. Flying Lemons also got Maxwell for close company. But how happened to Maxwell? Because Maxwell was right behind.
I think he
Gareth,
pit it. I think
I'm
he pitted
assuming.
again. I think he might pit again. I haven't looked
Oh,
at pit stops. Yeah, he stopped
Alright,
twice. He's the only person. Grumpy Orange has done 2 stops as well. But yeah, Maxwell stopped again as I thought he would have to. So yeah, it hasn't really been great. But Steve-O still holding firm in P8 for the McLaren boys. It could be good for him. Scott Laney, who has got a penalty now, so Jester can breathe a sigh of relief in that case. Colden has just sat himself behind the Haas of Lofty, and he's just got to stay there, I think, and secure P3.
Definitely. I think that's what Lofty. I think that's what Code will just do. He'll just like settle for keep them within the 3 seconds. Lofty will probably try and obviously build that gap at the time when the time comes and when the time demands it. Russell's right back in the 1 second range of Steve-O once again. So it really is just a matter of chopping and changing. Steve-O will have the advantage 1 lap. Russell will get it back the next. So this has been a closely fought contest or race. So is Russell going to get close enough? He's got very little ERS in comparison to Steve-O, who's got 50%. So Steve-O's got a lot of battery to burn, whereas Russell's barely get any. And looking at the grand scheme of things as well, Gareth is right behind Cowan, and a Flying Lemon will be close to Maxwell as well. So they're the closest battles on the track that I can see on the left hand side on your timing markers. But we're at lap 24. I think it might maybe be a bit early to kind of say, but if you maybe want to think about who your driver of the day nominees are going to be. Oh, and Steve-O's run wide, and that's allowed Russell up the inside, and Lofty's got another penalty for corner cutting. And Russell manages just to slip in and slip through, and Steve-O is going to have Cowan right behind him now. Russell might maybe take advantage of the clear air, and Cowan not quite getting up the inside there for turn 6. Steve-O will probably be in a strong position to try and get the place back though, because Russell's not got any ERS to defend with. So Steve-O can go for a massive burst of energy down the straight if he's close enough and try and get the place back. But this is a battle that's definitely not over by any stretch of the imagination. Looking at other battles, Crafty's managed to extend the gap to Scott Laney, but Scott Laney's also got a penalty to worry about as well. Oh, and Colden's gone for it. Lofty's trying to defend, but Colden has just decided to go and commit to the racing line and keep the place as the Williams Grumpy Orange gets out the way of the Hassey UK Demons, and that was for P2. So Colden does manage to get up into P3, so it's Mercedes, Haas, Renault, yellow flags, and that's Sprightly again, I want to say. I think Flying Lemon's still in the... Aye, so Sprightly really hasn't. Like, Sprightly is it's just one of the races for Sprightly. Like, I mean, like,
he's
I think,
doing
like, honestly,
a
like...
a 5-point turn as well.
and he's going to just wait for Dolphin. Wait, is that Sprightly just being lapped by Dolphins in 19?
Yes, it is.
I mean, that's one thing I've not looked at either. I was about to say, we've not looked at the tyres either. Sprightly's on the wets. I've not had the tyre info up or race.
Looks like he was just chancing his arm. Yeah, I mean, I guess he had nothing to lose. All 20 drivers still in this race, but yeah, Steve-O's got a time penalty as well. Oh no. And a bad couple of laps for the McLaren driver. Gareth is still searching for a point. As Dodgy has retired. As I say, there's still all 20 drivers. Dodgy comes into pits and retires. I mean, nice way to ruin it, Dodgy.
Oh, wow. It's as if he's got the stream on, and that's a Red Bull.
Oh.
Sorry, and that's Paul.
Yeah.
And that's Paul. Sorry, just to completely cut you off there.
That's fine. I saw the yellow flags.
But Dodgy's just like, oh, Merckx is saying there's 20 drivers still in the race. No anymore. Bang. Like, there you go. Deal with it. He's just completely threw everything you were saying into the bin. Like, and this battle for P8, is they quite finished yet? Despite, Russell
yellow
and Steve off penalties. That's for Alfa Romeo,
no,
that's Dodgy's car.
Dodgy's car. If that gets
Aye, that's
away.
Dodgy at turn 5.
Yeah,
It's just, we've seen that in version 1 where like somebody retired in the pits and their car just decided to park up at the exact same bit. Like, it happens. But looking at like the gaps, Cowan is right behind Steve-O. Look, if you're Cowan, I don't really think it's worth your time and energy to try and make moves that would risk your race result, because you're still within the 3 seconds of Russell and Steve-O's right there. So I think he might maybe just be a bit content and sitting in P10 and then getting the 8th when it comes to the checkered flag, like, given that he is within the limits. But he better just no fall prey to Gareth, because Gareth will be looking to try and pounce at any mistake as well, because he's still right here and he's still right in it. He'll be wanting some points as well. So he'll be looking to try and get up close and personal, which he is with Cowan right underneath the rear wing. Is he going to go for a late move up the inside into turn 11? He is not. He was kind of making Cowan think twice though. Gareth looking like he's kind of coming to life at this late stage, because he's been quite quiet for the last couple of laps. I've not really seen or heard too much from him, but here he is trying to get involved.
Yeah, he's still going for it, even though he's, well, as long as he keeps it pointing in the right direction, he'll have more points in P10. Gareth, I think, is just settling for what he hopes will be P9, but I don't know how many. I think Russell might have a few penalties, so it's possible that Steve-O could get P10 and a point to start off his tally for this season. But yeah, this is really the only battle. Is kind of, well, almost the same distance between Demons and Honey Badger and Demons and Colden. So
Aye, look, the battle for the lead really couldn't be any further apart, really, because they've all run their own races in respective manners. But we've honestly, I'm not being funny, I don't think I've jumped on board with Honey Badger at all, other than the start. Like, no screen time for him at all whatsoever.
that can be the way.
Aye, sorry, I just a wee mad panic there because my telly went to darkness there and I forgot to turn off. So I had to just like get the remote there. But we are seeing Honey Badger take his final trip. We'll actually just jump on Boldo since there's nothing else really going on right now. So we'll give Honey Badger some screen time. Number 56 has been leading for 28, and that's Sprightly again in the third sector, going beyond with some penalties. There we go. Sem says Charlie for driver of the day. Get your driver of the day votes in. so we can have a rough idea who you think is worth that title, I'll get the track positions up. Charlie did stay at P16 and he's found himself in 7th, so he has had a spectacular drive for a below average qualifying session, found himself in a healthy points position. I'll ask you that question, Max, if you've got one in mind.
I mean, I'm gonna have to give it to Honey Badger, to be honest with you. Charlie is obviously another contender, but yeah, I think you could give it to Demons, I suppose. First podium. Yeah, it's just hard to look past Honey Badger. He's just been imperious the whole time. It's almost going to be like a finish a pit stop ahead. He's just been incredible the whole race. They did say it's his best track, and he's put in the best performance he possibly can after heartbreak from last week. Losing the race on the last lap, he's come back with a bang.
Definitely, and it is going to be Honey Badger. We did say he was in the pursuit for the 26 points. He does have the fastest lap, and he has the race win as well as he takes the checkered flag in Shanghai. Just pound for pound, next level stuff for the Mercedes driver. We've not seen him all race, and when we have... Oh, and Russell slipped. He's slipped and skidded all the way out of the points, and he's run wide at turn 11 as well, and we've just completely patched Demons coming across the line in a very quiet, lonely, solely P2 for Haas. And it is going to be Colden to round out the podium, which you see the Williams, the Grumpy Orange, running wide at the hairpin, sorry. No chicanes here in Shanghai, but Cowan's going to try and go for Gareth. Sprightly's all the way on the outside there. Cowan loses it to Gareth, who does get up the inside. Charlie gains 10 at the end of the day after getting a P6 finish. And we see Grumpy Orange coming into the pits. Gareth will take the checkered flag in P9, and Cowan's going to round out the points. Russell does run wide on the exit there as he gives a wee wiggle and a wave, and everything in between as he slips out of points, even weighs penalties. Steve-O
P9 ahead of Cowan by 0.08 of a second. Bit close for comfort. Oh, there's a nice crash at the end there. Baggy fans crashed at the end again. Deadpool is very slow. Hypers is slow. He's run out of fuel, has Hypers.
So Hypers does take the checkered flag, and he has the last to finish on the lead lap, and that's 16th. It's not been a good day at the office for him at Renault. Renault have had a very divided Chinese Grand Prix in Division 3. Crafty with a solid P5, and Hypers is probably had a race that he wants to forget, but it is Honey Badger's race as he does take the top step of the podium pretty much untroubled. As soon as the lights went off, he was pretty much gone. He had checked out, and that was it. I'm honestly surprised, and it's no disrespect to all the drivers in Division 3, but there was no safety car.
Just shows how much the racing's improved in Division 3, just by saying that, because he'd expect times gone by that there would have been something, at least one safety car, almost one safety car a race, majority of the time.
And that's kind of it as well. Like, I think with a safety car. So what you're saying? Next. Hello?
Oh, the parts cut out there.
Oh, I was about to say, because you were about to say something, and I was about to cut you off, and then you did start speaking, and then you were like, just like kind of, and then just like turned off, and I was like, oh, all right, okay.
No.
Where have you went? So what have you got to say? Sorry.
I was saying, Lofty had a bad into the race.
Lofty ends up slipping to P5, and the Crafty does take P4. I didn't even see that, so don't think he'll be complaining too much with that. Looking at the chat, They liked the comeback drive for Charlie cutting through the field to get a P6 after starting 16th. So that kind of seems to be the favourable vote. We have got a nomination for Dawsey to say Honey Badger absolutely flawless and dominant out at the front. Demons for his first podium as well. He's got like a couple of votes as well, but it does seem to be Charlie taking it by quite a comfortable margin for what I'm seeing. So I think he'll probably be the driver of the day winner for Shanghai.
Yeah, I think so. I was just trying to work out points. I think Jester is on 54 with P4 was he? 50? Yeah, 12 points. Jester 54, Honey Badger 53, Hypers 51, Lofty 50, and Colden is on 41. Which is, well, remarkably close still in the first 4 rounds. And, he wants to win the title at the moment, it seems, so give it to the person who's a little way back in the championship, so that probably means Gareth will win the next race. Anyway, on to our podium interviews. If you got anything, unless you got anything else to say, Riggs?
No, I think you've kind of pretty much covered the bases.
Okay,
I'm just kind of looking through the chat just to kind of see what's the main consensus, but I think everybody is just kind of on board with the Charlie for Driver of the Day nomination and Driver of the Day winner here in China.
Looks like, well, Charlie is Driver of the Day. So we'll start off with P3. Colden, I mean, you were probably going to get P3 anyway if you'd stay behind Lofty, but I guess it's always nice to finish P3 on track. And yeah, I think obviously the gaps are quite large at the end. But in a wet race, you've got to keep your wits about you for the whole time. So I'm sure you're pleased to have a double podium for the Mercedes boys.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Happy with a double podium for Mercedes. Well done to Honey Badger, well done to UK Demons. Yeah, it was nicer to try and get past Lofty on track, but those conditions were just difficult, but you just got to keep plodding along. We seem to pull away. I seem to remember the first few laps I had a very, very bad start. I've obviously not practiced pulling away on the start in the wet, so maybe that's something I need to work at. It was just a full focused race, obviously in the wet, and yeah, nice to get another podium for myself and for obviously the Mercedes team.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously bounced back after last week's race in Vietnam, but yeah, I'd like to say congratulations on the podium, and you're different, different breed this. I was happy. Different breed this season, so.
Thank you very much. I was happy with P8 round Vietnam. It's high speed and a lot of walls close, so there was a lot. I thought there was a high chance I might catch that, so I was happy with 8th, and then to pick it back up again this week and follow my teammate onto the podium, and yeah, it was good. Thank you very much.
Hopefully,
fingers crossed. Thank you to you guys, our top commentators as well.
Thank you. So then on to our second place man, UK Demons, and well, it makes its way onto the podium for the first time, and yeah, I think obviously important to get past Baggy Fan early on, and well, it was tough to. It's always going to be tough to outdo Honey Badger, but I think P2 was the best that you could do today.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to start off by saying I know how he feels. I had a loss a couple of weeks ago, so it's amazing to be on the podium for the first time, and yeah, shocked really. Pretty good to see that I was pulling away from people. Didn't think I had that pace, but yeah, congratulations to Colden for the third. Honey Badger was unbelievable, like in a different league really. But yeah, no, brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to mention that. Obviously, you had had a tough couple of weeks. Yeah, I think you've obviously got your head down since you've returned, and yeah, I think it's obviously a great reward getting on the podium. So I have to say, hats off to you for having the mental strength to come back and come back quickly and strongly.
Cheers,
So yeah, well done on the P2.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. So our race winner then, Honey Badger. Well, heartbreak for you last week, finishing P2 after getting overtaken on the last lap. But I guess this is the best way you could bounce back.
Yeah, definitely. This is only four. Was a hard one to swallow, but and yeah, congrats, mate.
Cutting out a little bit.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, he's connected at the moment, so he's cutting out.
We'll give him a wee quick second just to kind of see, because we definitely want to hear from him. So once we can hear from him, but hopefully we can get his connection is his connection's 1 bar for me in the lobby. Like everybody else is 4, and then you've got Honey Badger on the 1.
Oh,
there he goes. Well, we give him a minute to come back in, and then if he does, we just wrap it up.
See what happens. I'll invite him. See what happens. Hopefully we can hear from him. He's connecting. Let's see if he joins. Right, let's try take 2. We didn't quite catch what you said, Honey Badger, so include your audio and go again. Yeah, so yeah, first win, obviously, in Division 3 this season. I'm sure you want to go more wins this season. Do you think you can repeat this season? Congrats on the you, Riggs.
Aye, that's honestly pretty much it. They apologise for the choppy connection at the end there, but we did get to hear from Honey Badger, who is your race winner here in Shanghai. Very challenging conditions, so I want to express my congratulations and echo what Max was saying to the front three and to everybody for delivering a very exceptional race given the adverse conditions and the circumstances. But if you've no quite had enough of your Chinese Grand Prix fix, you can tune in to the Elite race tomorrow, where they'll take to the track for the final time this weekend at 7 PM GMT. And if you want to just focus on the Division 3 content, we will be going to the Netherlands to kickstart the European stages of the season in the Netherlands on the 6th of February at 9 PM GMT, and we'd very much love to have you there, and we'll catch you in the next stream.